I'm Andrew Smith. I'm an English teacher here at Northwest University in Xi'an, Shanxi Province. I'm an American from Atlanta, Georgia, and a member of the Communist Party USA. I've been a member of the Communist Party for over 20 years, and being a communist in America is, to say the least, a bit of an uphill battle. In the wake of the fall of the Soviet Union, many people say that communism as an ideology has been discredited and is a dead ideology. But is that really true? Here in China, I decided to come and see for myself if there really is a country that is still walking on the road to communism. And I decided to learn firsthand how the Communist Party of China leads the Chinese people on this road. In studying the work of the Communist Party of China, I started with my own campus of Northwest University, where I work. I met with members of the party branch of the School of Information Science and Technology.
How are you tonight? Good to see you again. Hey,
including graduate student Deng Lungyan, who is researching the use of computers to treat sleep disorders. Lungyan is disabled and requires a wheelchair, but his intelligence and perseverance make him highly competitive academically and intellectually.
这个就是我们的应用想象系统。如果说他想象是向左跑，那么这里面的虚拟人物就会反映他目前想象的动作，对应的这块就是他想象的这个脑电波形。
Dr. Feng Jun, Party Branch Secretary of the School of Information Science and Technology, told me how the party branch provided special accommodations for Lungyan as a disabled person. Dr. Feng said, from the party's perspective, no one should be left behind. And yes, Lungyan is also a party member.
因为我们这个是一个科研党支部，我们的科研任务、教学任务和我们的党建工作是联动的。当时我在给他安排科研任务的时候，我实际上是考虑了他的基本情况的。我们经常出去活动都会带上他，会安排学生特别把他照顾上。除了他自己的生活起居之外，让他觉得他也是一个就是正常的一个研究生。
Dr. Feng emphasized that helping Lungyan is part of the normal work of the party branch. She asked that my research and filming not focus too much on this, however. She hopes more people will pay attention to Lungyan's research achievements, which will offer him more possibilities for future career development. I think Dr. Feng genuinely cares about Lungyan from the bottom of her heart, and the same can be said of the party. I also participated in a very exciting activity, understanding the daily work of a grassroots party secretary. My foreign colleague, Nagala, took me to the Party and Mass Service Center in the TV Tower community here in Xi'an. There, we met Wang Xiaolong, the party committee secretary and community director of the TV Tower community, who is a cheerful and experienced Communist Party official.
Oh, 这是我的党卡。Yeah, 我是美国Communist Party USA. Our party headquarters is in New York. Yeah, 我们是同志。Yeah. Yeah.
Nagala, Secretary Wang, and myself went to the nearby Weifeng Garden community. Secretary Wang explained that in 2018, due to environmental assessments and government regulations, the boiler equipment had to be replaced. At that time, only part of the equipment had been replaced, but this time the replacement was complete and comprehensive.
费用是业主公摊，这是属于业主的公共财产吗？
So if someone is unable or unwilling to pay the bill, like do they go cold in the winter?
第一个，咱们物业这一块要进行一个宣传，宣传完了以后，然后有一个公示，这个现在要多少钱，总价是多少，平均每户摊多少费用这是第二步。第三步就是针对个别没有缴费的这个物业再次上门，不把这个费用还有一部分没有缴齐，是物业先垫付，想把这个更换了。
This deeply inspired me because it demonstrated how Community Party members and cadres apply principles from Marxism, Leninism, and Mao Zedong thought. Specifically, I'm thinking of the mass line, where the party wins the support of the people through discussion and consensus building towards a correct policy. Later, we accompanied community staff to visit residents' homes and learn about their living conditions. It truly was a moving experience for me to see how grassroots party secretaries serve the people and add a personal touch to their work. My interaction with a Uyghur friend made a deep impression on me. Ruhan Guli from Xinjiang has been running a non-bread stall in Xi'an since 2015.
到这里以后，我们还是选了这个我们自己家乡的手艺坊。这个政府给我们介绍了这个座位摊位。我的韩语本来是不是那么好，在这里他安排了好多培训班。
Ruhan Guli learned how to promote her non-bread stall on social media platforms like Douyin through new media courses. And afterwards, her business became much more successful. I told her that I am also a member of the Communist Party USA. To my surprise, Ruhan Guli is also a member of the Communist Party of China.
Why did you join the CPC?
22年，我申请了入党申请书。我们2015年到这来以后，就感受到了党的温暖，让我们在这安心的做生意，然后孩子入学问题呀、治疗问题呀，全部都给我们解决了。祝我们自己的家乡一样的感觉，然后我们也是想的回应。
Secretary Wang said that not only Ruhan Guli, but also other ethnic minorities in China, especially Uyghur or Hui people who moved to Xi'an from Xinjiang, can receive help from community centers in solving settlement and employment issues. This really surprised me, because Western media often portrays China's minority policies, especially in Xinjiang, as oppressive and Han chauvinistic. However, after witnessing Secretary Wang's work with the Uyghur community in Xi'an, I realized that in fact the reality is quite the opposite. Uyghur and Hui people, as members of the Chinese national family, receive considerable preferential treatment and additional assistance.
I studied a great deal about the history of the CPC prior to coming to China, and I kept up with a lot of news reports and journal articles, newspaper articles, and things like that about China and the CPC. But of course, such things were always going to be through a certain Western lens. They would have a certain bias, if you will. So when I moved to China, I wanted to keep an open mind about how things work. And thankfully, I have been able to see how the CPC works, and in my studies of Chinese history, I see how since liberation in 1949, the CPC has been able to build an industrialized society that is not based on profit, not based on greed, but on the common need of the Chinese people. And you can see the results for yourself just looking around at what things are like in China now, and how just in the past 20 years alone, the CPC's policies have allowed for Chinese people to be lifted out of absolute poverty.
I don't know any other society that has succeeded in doing this in such a short time. When I reflect on the heroes and martyrs of the Chinese people, I cannot help but marvel at the immense achievements the Communist Party of China has made since its founding. Whether during the Long March, the first 5-year plan, the reform and opening up period, or the poverty alleviation campaign, Communist Party members have always dared to scale the height. Serve the people has always been the slogan throughout these different eras and movements.
If I may be provocative, I believe that China has a true democracy. What do I mean by this? I believe that China has a democracy that is for the whole people. It's not just for the elites. It's not just for the rich. It's not just for the bourgeoisie. No, here, the working class, the middle class, and the farmers, they are the ones who have the power. That makes it much more democratic than any capitalist democracy. Here in China, there are constant new ways in which the government gets the voice of the people heard. Assemblies and meetings and councils are constantly being held at all different levels across the nation so that the people can give their positive feedback and allow their legitimate grievances to be heard. One common misconception in the West is that there are no elections in China. In fact, the exact opposite is true. There are constantly elections being held in China all across the year at different levels and in different communities in China, with the party leading the way to make sure that the people's voices are heard. Because of this, elected officials in China are constantly able to be called and recalled at any given notice on different levels. And because of this, people's feedback and legitimate grievances can be heard, and the party can carry out its policies in a much more thorough and united way. The problem is that the CPC is so big, but the CPUSA is so small. Unfortunately, the American media spends a considerable amount of time trying to condition the American people to have a negative view of Marxism. So, unfortunately, we are fighting a very uphill battle. I believe the key to China's success in becoming a superpower of the 21st century is through the party's progress and its vanguard role. Interacting with the Communist Party of China has deeply made me feel the party's deep love and affection for the Chinese people. I've also witnessed firsthand the practice of China's whole process people's democracy. A democracy that involves daily face-to-face consultation and feedback from the people. Once again, we see the grassroots party members and cadres, how they were able to take care of the people and listen to their needs. As General Secretary Xi Jinping pointed out, our goal is both inspiring and simple. Ultimately, it is about delivering a better life for the people.